Good morning, friends, and thank you for the Indian Healthcare Express Group and time for giving this opportunity for me to speak, to share my perspectives as a patient and also as a health leader. Right? When this topic arose in our minds as to what we need to speak about digital patient journey, which is so, I would say, more important for this, and the ongoing future of our industry. We said there are a whole host of opportunities that's possible, but then we also want to start somewhere small, but make incremental changes and then move forward. We also heard in this race panel discussion with the transformation leadership that persistent change is what's going to make things happen. And there are a few other key words that came to my mind, which kind of cohesively spoken about by many players during the multiple discussions. I would like to draw your attention on the underlying words and the phrases which I'm going to cover about in the next 10 minutes or so, trying to see how much I could leverage and then move. When we started the journey of digital patient experience and then redoing our entire workflow process in 2016, like any organization wanted to look for risk mitigating factors, we went and then asked our team to research down, find out what should be the change process that we need to follow. So we looked at about 19 research articles, research papers, research projects, and two of them I would like to specifically call upon reference. One is from Accenture, which clearly said there is a revenue upliftment for health enterprises if patient experience is taken as core at the centric of their operations. Second is from the Gartner's research. We all kind of look upon Gartner for a hype cycle. If you look at the circled process of patient portal, it kind of tells us very clearly that the patients or the general consumers or customers of healthcare enterprises are ready to consume health technologies at their fingertips to kind of engage with the clinicians and the hospital enterprises. That gave the kind of confidence for us to move. So with these industry kind of articles backing us, we started our journey. We started as a patient. We looked at how do we need to go back to basics and statistics and start from scratch to say, okay, how do we redefine the entire patient journey in a newer healthcare, digital healthcare enterprise. So what we did, we sequenced down about 11 steps, starting from how did we look for a doctor and what kind of opportunities are available today and how did we move. So I'm going to take about one or two steps more detail and then explain you what things and how did we look at, and then we'll keep moving as quickly as possible. So if you look at when he starts thinking, what do I do? When he looks at some kind of a symptom, he says, should I consult a doctor or can I leave it for 3 days and see whether it's still a pain to me, which generally I do nowadays. With hectic travels that you have, okay, you say, okay, it's all a lot of travel, let's leave it as this. Then he looks at, should I go to a specialist or should I call some friends and ask, what should I do? Right? So there are specific set of thinking that runs in his mind, specific set of actions that he would like to perform, and there are challenges or gaps that's available in the current setup. So how do we map these challenges into the opportunities with the digital era? So we said we could do a lot of promotions and then keep him informed, have a help desk query for him to kind of optimize and respond as and when he wants. There's health education materials that could be posted on his fingertips which he can consume at his leisure time. A symptom checker could kind of tell him or keep him happy to say, okay, these are your symptoms, don't worry about it, it's simple, whatnot. Right? And how do you do triage or do you do targeted promotions if you find there's some problem specifically for that particular patient? Right? So on the next step, when he decided to ask for professional help and said, okay, now I know I need to go to a doctor, what do I do? Which hospital to go? Who's the right hospital? Which is the right doctor? Right? So he starts looking for the famous help that we have today from wherever we go is the friend G that we kind of look upon. So he goes to the internet, he searches on Google, finds who's the best doctor, looks at the ratings. Instantly I would like to want to, the personal experience that I had with the new age, the so-called Gen X people or Gen Y people, the new word that we use, which is my son. We want to buy something, so he said, why are you looking at it? Look the reviews, what happens, and then you buy what you want. And I said they are more informed to find out to buy a simple toy, so you need to look at the reviews, which I never even looked at. And so those are something that people are trying to kind of learn by observation around the peers or the peer pressure that we used to call. So if you look at on this step, there are a whole host of things that things can done. You can give a finder for him to find the doctors himself. You can get up a complete appointment scheduling which tells him which slots are free, what is his, if we kind of expose that with Google Calendar to tell him what his professional schedules are and how does it get mapped to his and which schedule he pick up. So it goes different set of processes like that, right? So I'm kind of going to skip a couple of slides, leaving each slide for about 5 seconds for you guys to quickly grab on. So next step comes at when he arrives for consultation, what he does. Then comes when he sees the doctor for consult. Right, post the consult, what's the advice that he received and what he needs to go on. Then comes when he wants to receive the results of his investigations and what continuation that he needs to do. All right. Then this after his admission when he gets discharged. He either goes home or he comes back to a chronic disease treatment, and then we keep continuing depending upon the problems that what we have. So those are the 11 steps that we kind of mapped and then said what we want to do. I'll try and then summarize that into 3 single slides, which is this. So right from symptoms all the way to either wellness or a chronic disease management, you have a specific step that you keep following. And we kind of mapped features that what I as a patient would minimally expect and what it would augment me if I have something more. So we kind of classified all these features that what we saw on the right side of the previous slides into specific sections and said, okay, these are basics, and these would be advanced features, and some would be called as premium features, so that people can kind of look at it and then say, okay, this is how we will empower patients to kind of engage with health enterprises and then move on. Right. Now, a quick guess. I'll just go back to basics, advanced and basics. Let me see how many of them are mathematically good, as we have some CFOs. What would be the number of feature sets that you think this whole journey would kind of be enabled to digital healthcare? Any quick guesses? Sorry, I think I heard 50. Okay. We have about 70 features, and it always comes to the priority of which features that we need to put in first. So if you look at most of the features have the middle layer, which is patient experience, being ticked. That means patient is expecting one or the other form to have all these features at its fingertips to kind of manage. So we kind of said for our enterprises to be more active in engagement, be wise in doing the right investments, and we also had the last CFO discussions which said that healthcare enterprises should be ready for making such investments. So how do we make the entire enterprise more comfortable making such investments? We kind of compared them with what additional 6 factors are the parameters at which would impact. So some of them comes from cost and impact, and some comes from the actual change management processes that what we need to do in hospitals. So we categorize them into high, medium, and low, so that it becomes more easy for board or anybody to take decisions and say, yes, this is what we need to do. So we went ahead and then mapped all these 70 features into different set of parameters. I'm not going them one by one. I'm happy to share and then take offline questions on this if there is any. So we kind of mapped every single feature on this into multiple factors that what we identified. This kind of gave a kind of clear map for us to say, okay, these should be basics and these should be advanced and these should be premium. And we kind of said, okay, let's roll the basics features first and see what the uptake or adoption is, and then start moving forward with the next set of features. We also saw a couple of speakers speaking about yesterday, saying the whole patient experience is now not only the care and also the experience around it. So we at IT, we were very clear that we can't do anything about curing ailments or building that gap between being so-called doctor-patient gaps that we could fill and then come and say, okay, we are the kings. So we said, okay, let's remove the entire cure and care ailment out of the entire journey, see what kind of supporting aspects that we could power up and then make that more conducive and move into the entire ecosystem. So that's how we started producing our entire the patient app and the portal into the software today. We also had yesterday the panel discussion on the digitalization is reality or myth, something that we kind of had. Mr. Dwivedi said very clearly that digitization and digitalization are two different things. We cannot approach digitalization with the mindset of digitization, which is very right. And in my mind, we kind of look at digitalization as one single parameter, that it has to be consistent across multi-channels with real-time information sharing. If you have inconsistent information in different forms of channels, you lost a user who would be having a trust on that particular system. So we said this should be our primary focus, and you can't force everybody to get onto a laptop and sit and do things. There are users who are comfortable with mobiles, there are users who are comfortable with iPads, so try and then bring omni-channel experience for them to kind of bridge the same feature sets for a usage. So moving on, the way that we want to kind of say was any program needs monitoring and metrics. I think Dr. Somesh pointed it out in the last discussion, what do you want to do in AR. So typically we also said it's not the program metrics that are going to govern these kind of digital transformations, it's going to be the business metrics at which we need to monitor and report on. So the key is always on three single parameters. It's either adoption, or user experience, or business performance. How do we change business models with newer technological investments? With that, I would like to say, let's not worry, let's stay connected. No harm staying connected, and let's be safe too. I think both me and the previous speaker kind of have the same set of slide decks. Yeah. So this is our celebration, and we shouldn't forget celebrating success. This is the, I just put this slide last day as we did the award last evening to say, okay, this is the project that went on. And when I said, I did say about 19 references, right? These are the different reference materials that we took to kind of map this entire journey back and say, we should be doing things much better. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for patience.